Consistency is often overlooked as a superpower. In a world where distractions pull us in every direction, it's not enough to be talented or motivated for a day. The key to lasting success is consistency. Today, I want to remind you that being consistent is not about waiting for the right moment or the perfect set of circumstances. It's about showing up day after day, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching. Let me tell you, a secret success doesn't come from grand, sporadic efforts. It comes from small actions repeated over time. From waking up early to pursue your goals when others are still sleeping. From practicing when you don't feel like it. From pushing through discomfort and doubt. Not because you feel ready, but because you know that the path to mastery is built step by step. But here's the reality: consistency isn't always glamorous. It's often mundane. It's the grind, the routine, the commitment to doing what you said you would do long after the initial excitement fades. The true test is not in the moments of inspiration, but in the moments of exhaustion, when you force yourself to keep going. I ask you to think about your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. What if you made consistency your best friend? What if, no matter the challenge, you pushed yourself to show up every single day? Your dreams deserve that level of dedication. Force yourself to be consistent. Because it's not just a matter of ability, it's a matter of will. But it's often temporary and unpredictable. There are days when you feel inspired and driven, ready to tackle any challenge. But what happens when that feeling fades? What do you do when you wake up tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed? This is where discipline steps in. Discipline is the ability to follow through on commitments regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's about acting based on the promises you made to yourself when you were motivated, not relying on fleeting emotions to carry you forward. Imagine an athlete who only trains when they feel motivated. They would never reach their full potential because motivation alone isn't reliable. Instead, they show up to train every day, whether they feel like it or not. Over time, their discipline becomes their edge. The same principle applies in any field, whether you're pursuing a career, building a business, or developing a skill. Discipline ensures that you continue to make progress even on the tough days. By prioritizing discipline over motivation, you are essentially taking control of your future. You acknowledge that external circumstances or internal moods won't dictate your actions. This shift in mindset builds resilience, consistency, and ultimately leads to greater achievements. The path to success is long and often tiring, but discipline keeps you moving forward, even when motivation runs dry. When you think about achieving a goal, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the size of the task ahead. You might envision the entire journey and feel intimidated, wondering how you'll ever get there. But here's the key: you don't have to achieve everything all at once. The real power lies in starting small and being consistent. Taking that first step, no matter how small, creates momentum. Each small action you take, repeated over time, builds towards something much larger. For example, if you want to get fit, starting with a 10-minute workout might seem insignificant. But if you repeat that 10-minute workout every day, you'll start building a habit, and over time, those minutes add up to hours of exercise. Soon, your stamina increases, and you naturally push yourself to do more. The same goes for any area of life, whether it's saving money, learning a new skill, or growing a business. The small actions you take, when done consistently, compound over time into significant progress. The key is to focus on starting, no matter how small the effort might seem. You don't have to be perfect from the beginning. By starting small and staying committed, you build momentum and gain confidence. That initial step is the hardest, but once you're in motion, it becomes easier to keep going. The beauty of this approach is that it removes the pressure of having to do something monumental right away. Instead, it shifts the focus to consistency, which is far more sustainable and achievable in the long run. A routine is more than just a set of actions. It's a structure that simplifies your life and keeps you on track toward your goals. When you create a routine, you are essentially building a system that reduces the need for daily decision-making. This eliminates the constant mental debate of should I do this now or later, because you've already decided when and how you will work toward your goals. By sticking to a routine, you develop consistency, and consistency is what leads to results over time. Routines provide clarity and direction, especially in a world full of distractions. Without a clear routine, it's easy to lose focus, procrastinate, or waste time on activities that don't move you forward. When you establish a set routine, You're dedicating time and energy to the things that matter most. For example, if you have a goal of writing a book, setting aside an hour each morning to write ensures that you make progress every day. Over time, this daily writing routine becomes a habit, and soon it feels like second nature to sit down and work on your book. Additionally, routines help to conserve mental energy. When you follow a routine, many of your actions become automatic, which frees up mental space for creativity and problem solving. Instead of constantly thinking about when to start working on your goals, you can focus on the actual task at hand. A good routine not only helps you stay disciplined, but it also makes it easier to be productive because you no longer have to rely solely on willpower or motivation. The routine itself becomes a supportive framework, guiding you towards your aspirations day after day. Tracking your progress is one of the most effective ways to stay motivated and committed to your goals. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results, but when you actively track your journey, you begin to notice the small victories that may otherwise go unnoticed. Progress tracking allows you to measure growth over time, which reinforces the idea that your efforts are paying off, even if the changes are gradual. By keeping a record of your actions and accomplishments, you create a clear picture of where you started and how far you've come. For instance, if you're trying to improve your fitness, writing down how much you can lift, how far you can run, or how many reps you can do allows you to see tangible evidence of improvement. Even if you don't feel much different in the moment, being able to look back at where you began reminds you of the progress you've made, motivating you to keep pushing forward. Tracking also helps you stay accountable to yourself. When you set goals without tracking your progress, it's easy to lose focus and forget the steps you've already taken. By regularly reviewing your progress, you stay more aware of your daily habits and the actions needed to reach your ultimate objective. It helps you identify patterns, both positive and negative, that can either accelerate or hinder your success. If something isn't working, tracking makes it easier to adjust your approach and fine-tune your strategy. Moreover, progress tracking introduces a sense of achievement and reward. Each time you see progress, no matter how small, it gives you a boost of confidence and a sense of accomplishment. This feeling reinforces your commitment to the process, making it more likely that you'll stay consistent in the long run. Whether you use a journal, an app, or even a spreadsheet, tracking your progress is a powerful tool that keeps you moving forward, celebrating each step along the way. Embracing the grind is about recognizing that success is not always glamorous or exciting. Often it involves doing the same tasks over and over, working through mundane, repetitive, and sometimes uncomfortable steps. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of instant success, but the truth is most achievements are the result of consistent effort over a long period of time. The grind, those day in, day out efforts that don't seem to yield immediate results, is where real progress is made. When you embrace the grind, you learn to appreciate the process itself. You understand that the small, routine tasks that may seem tedious are actually the building blocks of your larger goals. Take learning a new language, for example. It may seem like a slow process when you're memorizing vocabulary words or practicing grammar exercises, but over time, those repetitive actions add up and suddenly you find yourself fluent, able to communicate effectively in a new language. The grind is where mastery is born. By accepting the grind, you build resilience and mental toughness. When you push through the tasks you might not enjoy, you develop the discipline to keep going, even when motivation fades. The grind teaches you patience and persistence, qualities that are essential for long-term success. You learn that the key isn't in chasing constant excitement or quick rewards, but in showing up and doing the work, even when it's not thrilling. Additionally, the grind weeds out those who are not truly committed. Many people start with enthusiasm, but when faced with the hard, unglamorous work required to reach their goals, they give up. By embracing the grind, you set yourself apart. You understand that the boring, repetitive tasks are temporary, but the rewards of sticking with them are long-lasting. The grind is not something to avoid or dread. It's something to embrace, knowing that the effort you put in today will bring the results you desire tomorrow. Celebrating milestones is a crucial part of maintaining long-term motivation and consistency. When you're working toward a big goal, it can sometimes feel like the finish line is far away, and this distance can be discouraging. By breaking your goal down into smaller, manageable milestones, you create checkpoints along the way that make the journey more rewarding. Celebrating these milestones gives you a sense of achievement, reminding you that progress is being made even if the final goal isn't yet reached. Recognizing and celebrating these small victories keeps you energized and motivated, It's easy to get caught up in the mindset of, I'll be happy when I reach the end. But if you wait until the ultimate goal is achieved to feel a sense of success, the journey may become exhausting. By celebrating along the way, you inject positive reinforcement into the process. These celebrations act as mental refreshers, helping to recharge your focus and commitment. For example, if your goal is to run a marathon, celebrating when you complete your first 5K, or when you hit a new personal best keeps the momentum going. These small wins reaffirm that your efforts are working and that you're getting closer to your overall goal. Celebrations can be as simple as treating yourself to something you enjoy, taking a break, or sharing your achievement with friends and family. Celebrating milestones also helps you recognize and appreciate the growth you've experienced. Sometimes, in the pursuit of a big goal, it's easy to overlook the improvements you've made along the way. When you take the time to acknowledge milestones, you're acknowledging how far you've come, which builds confidence and strengthens your belief in your ability to keep going. It's a reminder that the path to success is a journey of many small steps, each one deserving of recognition. Ultimately, celebrating milestones turns the pursuit of your goals into a more enjoyable process. It encourages a positive mindset, where every bit of progress is something to be proud of. This approach keeps your motivation alive and prevents burnout, as you're continually reinforcing the idea that every step forward is meaningful. By celebrating these milestones, you stay connected to your purpose and fuel the passion that drives you to your ultimate success. Staying accountable is a powerful strategy to ensure you remain consistent and focused on your goals. When you share your ambitions with someone else, whether it's a mentor, friend, colleague, or partner, you create a system of external motivation. Accountability adds an extra layer of responsibility. Because you're no longer only answering to yourself, you have someone else who is expecting you to follow through. This external pressure can be incredibly effective in keeping you on track, especially when your own motivation starts to wane. Accountability partners help keep you honest about your progress. When you're working alone, it's easy to justify skipping a day, cutting corners, or delaying tasks. You might tell yourself that you'll get back on track tomorrow, but when someone else is checking in on your progress, those excuses lose their power. Having someone to report to keeps you from taking the easy way out. It adds an element of commitment that makes you more likely to stay disciplined and stick to your plan, knowing that someone else is watching and supporting you. Moreover, accountability partners or groups can offer valuable feedback and encouragement. They can point out things you might overlook, offer advice when you're stuck, and celebrate your wins with you. This emotional support is key when the going gets tough. Knowing that someone else cares about your success creates a sense of community, making the process less isolating. Whether you're working toward a fitness goal, trying to complete a major project, or learning a new skill, having someone to hold you accountable makes the journey more collaborative and enjoyable. Additionally, accountability can help you stay objective and focused on your goals. Often, when we're immersed in a process, it's hard to see where we're slipping or where improvements can be made. An accountability partner provides a fresh perspective, helping you stay aware of your habits and progress. They can spot patterns you may not recognize and challenge you to push beyond your comfort zone. This ongoing feedback keeps you moving forward and prevents you from falling into complacency. When you stay accountable to someone else, it reinforces your own self-discipline. Over time, the habit of regularly updating someone on your progress builds a deeper sense of personal responsibility. You become more committed to your own goals, not just because someone is watching, but because you develop a greater sense of ownership over your journey. Accountability strengthens your resolve to follow through, making it a critical tool for maintaining consistency and achieving long-term success. Pushing through resistance is one of the most important yet challenging aspects of staying consistent. Resistance comes in many forms: laziness, self-doubt, fear of failure, or simply feeling overwhelmed by the tasks ahead. These barriers can make it tempting to give up or postpone your efforts. However, learning to push through resistance is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who fall short. It's the ability to keep moving forward even when it feels uncomfortable or difficult that leads to long-term success. Resistance often shows up when you're about to make significant progress. It's that inner voice telling you that you're too tired, too busy, or not capable of succeeding. It's the urge to procrastinate or distract yourself with easier, less important tasks. The truth is, resistance is a natural part of the process, especially when you're stepping out of your comfort zone and striving for something bigger. Instead of seeing resistance as a sign that you should stop, you need to view it as an indicator that you're on the right path. The discomfort you feel is a sign of growth, and by pushing through it, you're developing resilience and strengthening your commitment to your goals. One of the best ways to overcome resistance is by breaking down tasks into smaller, manageable steps. When you're faced with a large, daunting project, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and paralyzed. But if you focus on just the next small step, the task becomes less intimidating. For example, if you're writing a book and feel overwhelmed by the thought of finishing an entire chapter, commit to writing just one paragraph. Once you start, you often find that the act of doing, however small, creates momentum and makes it easier to continue. Another strategy to push through resistance is to recognize and address the root cause of it. Sometimes resistance comes from fear of failure, fear of judgment, or even fear of success. By acknowledging these fears, you can take steps to confront them. Often, the act of naming your fears and understanding where they come from takes away some of their power. You can then approach your task with more confidence and clarity, knowing that fear is simply part of the process and not something that should stop you. Ultimately, the more you push through resistance, the stronger your willpower becomes. Each time you face resistance and choose to keep going, you're training yourself to stay consistent and persevere through challenges. Over time, what once felt like a huge obstacle becomes easier to overcome. The habit of pushing through resistance becomes second nature, allowing you to stay on track and continue making progress toward your goals, even when it feels hard. The rewards on the other side of resistance are worth the effort, progress, growth, and the satisfaction of knowing you didn't give up. Patience is a fundamental virtue in the pursuit of any meaningful goal. In a fast-paced world where instant gratification is often the norm, cultivating patience is crucial for success. Many people expect quick results and become disheartened when they don't see immediate progress. However, understanding that significant achievements take time allows you to approach your goals with a more realistic mindset. Patience helps you remain steadfast and focused, even during the long and sometimes arduous journey toward your aspirations. When you practice patience, you're essentially acknowledging that the path to success is rarely linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of progress followed by setbacks. This natural ebb and flow can be frustrating, but maintaining a patient attitude allows you to navigate these challenges with grace. Instead of getting discouraged by obstacles, you begin to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. Every setback can teach you something valuable, shaping your approach and preparing you for future success. Additionally, patience enables you to develop a deeper understanding of your craft or goal. When you allow yourself the time to learn, practice, and grow, you're more likely to acquire the skills and knowledge needed for long-term success. Rushing through processes or cutting corners often leads to gaps in understanding that can hinder progress down the road. By embracing patience, you commit to mastery and personal development, recognizing that expertise and proficiency take time to cultivate. Furthermore, practicing patience fosters resilience. When you encounter difficulties, a patient mindset encourages you to stay the course, rather than giving up. You learn to trust the process, even when it feels slow or uncertain. This resilience is invaluable because it empowers you to keep pushing forward despite challenges, reinforcing your commitment to your goals. You begin to see the journey itself as a valuable experience, filled with lessons that contribute to your growth. Cultivating patience enhances your ability to celebrate milestones and appreciate the journey. When you're focused solely on the end result, it's easy to overlook the progress you've made along the way. A patient mindset encourages you to acknowledge and celebrate small victories, which helps maintain motivation and reinforces your commitment. By taking the time to reflect on how far you've come, you gain perspective and a greater appreciation for the work you've put in, making the ultimate achievement even more rewarding. In essence, patience is not about waiting idly, it's about staying engaged and committed while allowing time to work in your favor. By practicing patience, you position yourself for success, knowing that meaningful achievements are built on a foundation of consistent effort, resilience, and a willingness to learn along the way. The journey may be long, but the rewards of patience, both personal and professional, are immeasurable. Reframing setbacks is a crucial skill that can significantly influence your ability to remain consistent and achieve your goals. Setbacks are an inevitable part of any journey, and how you respond to them can make all the difference. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, consider them as learning opportunities. This shift in perspective allows you to analyze what went wrong, extract valuable lessons, and apply that knowledge moving forward. Embracing setbacks as part of the learning process not only reduces frustration but also fosters a growth mindset, which is essential for long-term success. When you encounter a setback, take a moment to reflect on it objectively. Ask yourself what led to this situation and what you can learn from it. For instance, if you set a goal to lose weight and find that you gained a few pounds instead, consider what factors contributed to this outcome. Did you stick to your eating plan? Were there external stressors that affected your choices? By identifying these elements, you can adjust your approach rather than simply feeling defeated. This reflective process encourages you to take ownership of your journey and empowers you to make more informed decisions in the future. Additionally, reframing setbacks helps to build resilience. When you view challenges as obstacles to overcome rather than insurmountable barriers, you cultivate a sense of determination. Each setback becomes an opportunity to develop problem-solving skills and strengthen your ability to cope with adversity. This resilience not only aids in achieving your current goals, but also prepares you for future challenges, making you more adaptable in the face of unexpected difficulties. Moreover, reframing setbacks can alleviate feelings of isolation. Many people experience setbacks but may feel alone in their struggles. By openly discussing your setbacks and how you're reframing them, you create a space for connection with others who may be going through similar challenges. Sharing your experiences fosters a sense of community and support, reminding you that you're not alone in your journey. This support network can provide encouragement and different perspectives, helping you see setbacks in a new light. It's also important to recognize that setbacks can lead to new opportunities. Sometimes a setback may redirect your focus to a path you hadn't previously considered. For example, if a business venture doesn't go as planned, it may prompt you to explore alternative ideas or strategies that ultimately lead to greater success. Embracing the possibility that setbacks can open new doors encourages creativity and innovation in your approach.